What's up, everybody, and welcome to Battle Talk, episode 10. Today is August 3rd, 2014, and we got some great Blizzard news for you tonight. But first, my co-hosts. Joining me, as usual, is Cody, a.k.a. Can't Heals. What's up, man?
Hi.
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 All right, that's a great answer. And also joining us is Dom, a.k.a. Zista. Then you could fix this. You know this.
I didn't have time to get a background.
I didn't
have time to get a background this week.
We can't even see the whole thing. It says, I need wallpaper.
Oh,
it's like,
well.
See?
Yep.
I don't know.
You done goofed.
I done goofed.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait,
so,
move me.
What you guys been up to this week?
Not a whole lot, you?
I know we played some alpha stuff.
You can see it now.
I actually hopped into the alpha for a change.
Yeah, and you healed us.
In the beta. Sorry, beta. Mm-hmm. It's the beta. It's not an alpha, it's beta.
I don't know about you guys. I did Grimrail Depot 3 times this week.
I did it twice. Without the trains.
Wait. We're going to get a close-up. What's the matter, Tom?
I love trains.
Good man. That's what I was looking for.
No.
No?
Thank you, Laura, for the train raid or dungeon, whatever.
I got tricked. I got tricked into doing the train instance today.
You did.
Oh, okay, you did. All right.
They're like, oh, come on, let's do an instance. Let's do one so we have something to talk about tonight on Battle Talk. And I'm like, okay, let's get in there. And so, what was it? It was Can't Heals, it was myself, it was our executive producer, Total Deletion, and the one, the only, he's not important.
Yellow dress wearer?
Yes, the yellow dress wearer. I have his dress hanging on the wall over here. Mike Schaffner, yeah.
That guy.
So.
Him.
And then we zone in, and I'm on a train.
Aside from the train, how'd you like the instance?
Short, sweet, to the point.
There's this one part where I jumped off the train because I didn't want to.
I think we all did. Cause we're like, oh, it's a wife, everybody jump! Woo! And gone. So, it works.
I guess
it's realistic.
Anyway, alright, before we get into the meat of everything, I'm going to do a little guild plugging. All three of us are members of the Gamebreaker Nation. It is a cross-game and soon-to-be cross-platform. Well, maybe cross-platform. Working on that for Destiny. But,
we already play Mario Kart. It's alright. It's cross-platform.
Point. There you go. It's already cross-platform. We play Mario Kart. We're a guild, more of a gaming community spread across multiple online games and MMOs. We have guilds for WoW, Final Fantasy XIV, ESO, WildStar, Guild Wars 2, that thing Dom just broke, Old Republic, probably a Rift in there, because Rift doesn't have a lot of players, I'm afraid. Yes, Fantasy even, thank you. And we play League of Legends, Heroes of the Storm, everything Blizzard, anything you want, so if you're interested, check us out at GamebreakerNation.com or talk to people in the chat below because there's a lot of members in there right now.
I would just like to say and add on to this that the Warcraft Guild now has the best banner on the front page at Gamebreaker Nation. Screw the WildStar banner. Ours is pretty kick-ass. Just saying.
Caveat, he made it, that's why he's saying it.
We also have the worst guild leader.
Yeah, that's true. So it kind of balances out, I guess.
Our executive producer. Yes. How can you have time to EP a show.
Produce?
EP a show. I'm using EP, it's easier. EP a show and GM a guild.
You don't.
Speaking of which,
being hard on Total, I love it.
This is our 10th episode now, right?
Yes.
10 weeks of this we've done.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm happy to announce that our callers are back for our 10th episode.
About time.
We do. We're going to be getting to a couple of our callers later, or do we have a caller now? We don't have a caller now.
I don't believe we have callers now, but for those of you that would like to call in, that are not part of the show, would like to join in on our discussion, any topic we are currently discussing, add us on GBN Live on Skype. call in. We will answer. We'll get you right on the show.
Yep.
Live.
Or you could send us Twitter questions. Use the hashtag GBN Live, and we'll try our best to put your question on the show. Anyway, like I mentioned before, we talk a lot about Blizzard games, and we got some good stuff for you. So we're going to start off, as we always do, with WoW, because a lot of people play it. So just in the news department, there's a special Warlords event at Gamescom, which takes place in Cologne, Germany. I hope it's Cologne, Germany, because it's spelled Cologne, from August 13th to 17th. What do you think this special Warlords event could be, guys?
Opening cinematic.
Oh, I like that. That's better than what I had. Dom?
Haha! I stumped all of you.
No, it's not that I'm stunned. I hate to do this while we're on the thing of actual discussion, but as you can see, I have this sign right here that says I need wallpaper. So I just received an email from none other than Mike Byrne, who's currly in chat with us.
Oh, God.
Sending me wallpaper.
That's very nice. That's very nice of him.
Very nice of him.
It is. It is. So if you'd like to cut away, and maybe when I come back, I might have this new wallpaper up.
All right, give me a moment. So I'll cut away for me.
So let's discuss the opening.
We'll discuss this real quick, and then we'll do.
Well, you can cut to either you or I, but anyways, the opening cinematic. Let's discuss what we could possibly see because Mr. Pandaria. We've got the epic battle scene. Between the Horde and Alliance going into opening up for the Mists, and it shows Chen, who's my idol, badass panda. Kicks everybody's butt. He's got a hat and everything like that. And then you got Wrath of the Lich King. It shows the backstory of Arthas and that. With Warlords, do you think they would show some of the trial or what happens after he escapes, kind of thing, trying to get people caught up if they didn't read the book?
Oh, that's actually a good question. I mean, I expect the voiceover for. Gonna keep going here. I expect that how the openings we always get some voiceover from something. Like we had Arthas' father doing some kind of voiceover, and then we had Deathwing kind of doing a little monologue. I'm thinking we're gonna probably have something from Garrosh's point of view.
Well, going off that, I wonder if it's not even going to be Garrosh. I wonder if it would be like Duratan or some of the older Horde leaders.
That could even be possible. I don't know.
Be kind of interesting.
I'm interested. I'm zooming in on that. Oh, look at that.
Pretty fairies.
You're surrounded by fairies.
I'm having a lovely time.
It's spectacular, dude.
It is. I have to agree. I think it is going to be the cinematic. I don't really see what else it could be.
Yeah.
I feel like they want to save the cinematic for something bigger than Gamescom, though. I feel like that would be better for BlizzCon. So I don't know. It could be.
I think
part
as far
of
as
the cinematic.
I was gonna say, I think as far as audience goes, I think Gamescom's the last big show next to Tokyo Game Show, and even Tokyo Game Show is not really big for say Blizzard. Gamescom would be a bigger audience. Other than I understand BlizzCon. Honestly, I do. I get it, but I think they would save something else for BlizzCon. There's so much more information that can come out in BlizzCon that showing off the opening cinematic to Warlords. Now, if the release date for Warlords is in September, like we all think it is, Cologne, Germany at Gamescom would be the perfect time to show off the opening cinematic.
I agree. It's.
I still don't think it's in September. I'm sorry.
I don't know when the game's releasing. It could be September. It could be November. I don't know. But anyway,
I'm gonna say late November. That's my guess.
I'm going to go somewhere between you two just so I could be safe and say, haha, I was right. But anyway, going with October. I think it's going to be the cinematic. Wow. Cinematic. I can't talk tonight. I'm so sorry, everybody. I think it's going to be
all these lovely fairies around me. That's why they're distracting you.
So distracting. No matter when the game releases, it's going to be the cinematic. Because that just sounds like too good of an idea now. And it's just stuck in my head and I can't get it out.
It'll be interesting if it's not the opening cinematic, because it's going to throw us all off. We're all set on a cinematic, and it's going to be some left field announcement or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It'd be weird. It'd be weird if they were to announce the release date, because I feel like that would be a perfect time for BlizzCon. If it doesn't come out in October, September, BlizzCon would be the place to announce it. But if they announce it at Gamescom and not show off the cinematic, or they may do both, who knows? I mean, I just don't agree with them announcing it the release date at Gamescom though.
Yeah. No, we'll see what happens. That's soon, actually. A week-ish.
This week.
Yeah, let's put
10
it.
days.
Let's put it this way: if the opening cinematic is not shown at Gamescom, then it's not coming out before BlizzCon.
No.
It's that simple. There's nowhere else. There's no other big platform. Like San Diego Comic Con would have been a good place to show it off. Like that would have been the ideal place to show it off. They didn't.
Yeah, they showed off the movie more, which was
Gamescom. They're
Yeah.
trying to get Gamescom to be a little bit bigger, so that may be the ideal place to do it. If they don't, the only other place they could really do it is BlizzCon, unless they just don't do it at a show anywhere and just release it over the internet. I don't feel like that's the best platform to do it at.
But we have someone in chat. DZ says that it can't be in a month. He hasn't seen a collector's edition available to reserve yet, and that's a good point.
Yeah.
You can reserve it yet. And usually, don't they put that out a few months in advance?
it depends.
There is in the press release for Warlords of Draenor, it does state that there will be a physical collector's edition.
Yes.
That is in the press release for when it was originally announced.
Of course, there's going to be one.
Yeah. GameStop, currently not taking pre-orders. There's nothing on Amazon. None of the retailers have anything for anything other than the standard box copy. So,
GameStop won't open up pre-orders until literally the day they get an email from corporate saying, "Hey, Warlords of Draenor Collector's Edition is now in your system under this SKU. You know, you can start taking pre-orders on it." And it'll literally be that day that they get an email saying it's live, unless Blizzard comes out and says it like middle of the day, say a Monday. They come out and say, "Hey, we're opening up, pre-orders for it." They won't go live at GameStop until the following day when that email gets sent to every store.
Yeah.
Now, Amazon will probably go, "Hey, here, boom, it's already up." All the online retailers will probably go ahead and put them up there, but GameStop, as far as store, won't go to the next day. Their online store may be that whenever they announce it. So.
Yep. Anyway.
what have you guys been doing the past few years? Have you been reserving physical collector's editions, or are you getting the digital ones?
I've been doing digital.
both?
The only collectors I have is vanilla.
Can I buy it off you? Because I really want it.
No.
You already redeemed the code.
The only physical collectors I
That's the
have
box.
is vanilla, and I think my wife has Burning Crusade, Wrath, and either Miss or Cataclysm. She may have... I don't think she
Yeah,
has all four.
I'm looking right now. I have the original one. I know I have BC and Wrath. I mean, BC and, Wrath of the Lich King. I don't know where those... Oh, no, that's Wrath right there. So BC... No, I don't have Wrath. I don't know where Wrath is, but I have them all. There's Wrath, there's Cataclysm, there's Pandaria. I have even one space left for Warlords, so I don't know what's going to happen after Warlords come out. I'm not going to have any more room for collector's editions.
For next week.
Maybe I'll throw out the
No.
Star Wars: The Old Republic collector's edition.
There
I
you
guess.
Yeah, there you go. For
Yeah.
next week, I'll have a little map to show everybody that came in the vanilla collector's edition.
Yeah, I've gotten all of them since BC because I was late to the party. I joined Warcraft at the end of vanilla, then started collecting them all. Then I was stationed in England for Cata,
Jolly good.
and I couldn't. I ordered the collector's edition online, so I had to wait like 4 days for it to get shipped to me. So I was like, well, screw this, I'm not going to wait. So I just went and bought the digital version of it, and then leveled up and beat everybody in my guild to level 85 while they were all being lazy. And then just add the code in.
I walked into GameStop the day before the vanilla game launched and reserved the collector's edition.
Nice.
Now, I do hope for Warlords they do what they did with Mists of Pandaria, where down in Irvine they do their little launch party. I went to the Mists of Pandaria one, and that was actually really fun. And they give you your collector's edition, but then you get to go through like the line and have everybody like from the art team or the dev team sign it. And I got Chris Metzen to sign my Mists of Pandaria box, everything. I'm like, that just made my night, and then kind of walked off. I'm like, I'm done. That's the only signature I wanted on that box was Chris Metzen, and I got it. I was like, I'm
That's pretty
satisfied.
cool.
There you go.
We were able to we had a fan from the Game Breaker community last year come to BlizzCon with it was a Miss Pandaria box and had us all sign it for them.
Oh yeah,
All the
that's
Game
right.
I remember
Breaker
that.
team. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was kind of cool. It was like the first time I've ever actually signed Zista on anything, so it was a little weird.
Does this mean I have to work
It was
on the
cool.
can't heal signature?
Probably.
Darn it.
Anyway, moving on. We got a lot of stuff still to cover here.
We do.
Beginning, this is a little late news, but beginning Friday, as in this previous Friday, at 10 a.m. to Monday at 9 a.m. Sorry, guys, you got less than 12 hours. Actually, no. You have 14 hours. They're applying the Heart of the Valorous buff. Gives you 100% Valor point gain from all sources. 14 hours. You can get Valor cap in that easily. Especially
Ooh.
with double rate.
Valor.
So, go do that. Now for our next discussion. Level...
I think I just want to say, is it safe to assume that they're alternating every week, Valor, Black Prince?
That's what it seems like.
It
now.
looks
They're
like
just
it.
alternating it.
So can we predict that for next weekend that we'll have the Black Prince buff again?
Probably. They've been doing... It's kind of like their weekend experience that they have in Heroes, because if you play on the weekend, you get, I think, 50% per game experience as well.
Something like
So,
that.
I think really the only point for most people for the Valor right now would be collecting all the heirloom pieces, so you can eventually put them in the heirloom tab that is not launching with Warlords of Jaina.
we're being corrected by Shafton. He says that it rotates every 2 weeks. Uh-oh. Sorry.
Oh.
Well, last week was the Prince buff, wasn't it?
I thought it was last week. I remember mentioning
Last
it.
week was the Prince buff, but the week before that might have also been the Prince buff, so he might still be correct.
Possibly.
I'm just going to say he's wrong, just for the sake of being wrong. 'Cause he's Mike
Shafty,
Shafty,
you're
he can't be
wrong.
right?
Just because we want to disagree with you.
We love him anyway. Anyway,
Mhm.
next discussion point. Level 100 talents.
I have
And
to say, I'm excited.
I'm not going through all of them because there are 11 classes and 3 choices. I'm sorry, no. More than 3 choices depending on your spec. So there are 33 specs. And yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
So we're going to do our 3 mains, or I chose the main I'm going to be playing in Warlords, just to go with that. Anyway, I have some lovely images, but who would like to start first? Cody, you're starting first. You just volunteered.
Sure.
So, what do you play, or what are you going to be playing?
As always, my Resto Shaman. You know, this goes back to like every single expansion that's come out. I'm like, ooh, like Death Knights are gonna be a thing. Oh, I'm gonna change my main to a Death Knight. Oh, monks are a thing now. I'm gonna go play a monk. No, I'm just not even gonna try this expansion. I'm just gonna keep with my Shaman. And not attempt to play anything else.
That was my thought process.
It never ends up the way I wanted it. So.
But anyway,
Yeah.
arrange
Shop.
these. These, for Resto, are the 3 choices for your level 100 talents.
Yay.
You have Cloudburst Totem. Gives you a totem that collects all power from healing. When the totem is destroyed, replaced, expired, all the power is released, healing all injured allies for a total of some percent of healing done while it was active, not 0%. That's a tooltip error. Split evenly between them. That's
I like it.
Sounds
interesting.
really good.
It's okay. So it sounds really interesting for as far as overheals go. So if you're in a raid or whatever and you're healing a lot, that thing's just collecting your overheals. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, and that'd be really cool, especially if you could time it for like a high burst damage part in a boss fight or something. One of those like, oh, by the way, you're all reduced to 5% health, and you got to be healed really quick, or I'm gonna kill you in 3 more seconds. Kind of mechanics or something like that. That's pretty cool. Then you got Storm Elemental Totem, which all 3 specs have a choice from. Summons an air totem with a lot of health, calls forth the Greater Storm Elemental, does AoE damage, and heals all allies within 15 yards for the amount of damage dealt, split evenly. Lasts a minute.
Yeah, it just sounds like another. We've got the Fire Elemental Totem, we've got the Earth Elemental Totem. This is just another. It. Sadly, this one doesn't really appeal to me
I used
as a
it.
healer.
I used it in beta because my horde main for a while was enhancement shaman. It does a respectable amount of damage.
Yeah, I can see it working out for say the enhancement shaman or even the elemental, but as far as Arresto, I don't know. Considering I'm not really going to be paying attention to doing damage or at least popping this guy off to do something, I'm going to be too busy concentrating on healing. It's probably not one of the talents I'd pick.
All right, and here's another good. This one's, as everybody can see, is a big one. High Tide. Your chain heal bounces to up to 3 additional targets affected by Riptide. Well, your Riptide, sorry, and no longer diminishes in power with each bounce.
This is the one I'm choosing straight up because it's almost like Soothing Mist. I think it's Soothing Mist of the Mistwalker monk.
Yeah, the Mistweaver.
Mistweaver, yeah, Mistweaver. It's almost like that where you put Riptide on as many people as you can, and you just use Chain Heal and it bounces to those people. It's almost the same effect as the Healing Monk. So probably the one I'm going to go after.
Just from a cursory glance, that seems like it's going to be the winner in a lot of situations for Resto.
Especially with it not losing power on its jumps.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't there a glyph that makes your Riptide have no cooldown?
Yes, but you lose the initial heal off of it. So
right. Okay, so you trade. Basically, you make it rejuvenation then.
Yeah, essentially. So I mean, it's a nice trade because you can pop Riptide whenever you need to. So this would work out really well with that glyph.
Yeah, that seems pretty awesome. But Cloudburst, it's only a 30-second cooldown, so you could use that often. I don't know. It's gonna be between those two for me.
Yeah, I can see. It depends on the encounters we have in the raids. I can see switching between the two, between Cloudburst and High Tide. But as far as the Storm Elemental Totem, that's probably the least one I'm not going to use when I'm raiding.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, Dom, it's your turn.
Hi.
Hi. What are you playing?
Hi, Ferryman.
Hi, Ferryman.
I was just having a conversation with the
inanimate object.
I'm playing combat as always. Every expansion since vanilla, I've been a combat rogue. Except for the end of vanilla, I was like a subtlety rogue that did nothing but spam eviscerate because subtlety was broken.
Yeah.
It was actually DPS lost to Sinister Strike at that point. So, but yeah.
There you go.
So I'll be doing combat, and I really don't know. These talents are really interesting.
Yeah. I'm going to start with the two smaller ones on the right because that other one, it's got a wall of text based on your spec.
Yeah.
I mean, Venom Zest. You get 15 max energy and you gain energy regeneration rate. Increases your energy regen rate by 5% for every enemy you have poisoned up to 3.
Right, so this is really good for AoE fights. This is something that I'd probably have like on a side spec somewhere. Mm-hmm. Especially since I'm going to be playing combat no matter what, so I'm probably going to have 2 combat specs. So this is something I could have for AoE fights, which seems really good because any enemy that I have poison, so Blade Flurry, anything with adds like that, my energy is going to be increased. So maximum, I'll have an additional 15 energy and 15% increased energy regen, which sounds amazing. It's amazing.
Kind of does.
But then, like, some of these other ones, like, because that's a passive ability, so you don't have to worry about hitting any extra buttons, anything like that. And I tend to prefer passive abilities.
It's just
one less thing to remember hitting.
It's a nice passive. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The second one, which is Shadow Reflection. Is that the one you have down there?
Yeah, summon a shadow of yourself. Yeah, it summons a shadow of yourself on the target. It watches you and memorizes your offensive ability usage for the next 8 seconds. After this time, it will mimic the memorized abilities on its target over the next 8 seconds.
Right, so now this seems like a really cool ability that you're probably going to want to pair up with like Adrenaline Rush, something like that, because if you are if it's memorizing your attacks and you're able adrenaline rush, so you have more energy, so you could do more attacks and get them in that 8 second period of time. Then for the other 8 seconds, even if you don't have adrenaline rush active, it's still going to mimic them no matter what. So your shadow will end up doing more damage than you're doing at that point because it's following your adrenaline rush or killing spree or whatever ability you happen to use during that time. So.
All right.
Seems like a really good talent too. So that seems right now based off these two, one is a more AOE focused talent, one is a more single focused target. So the third one, which is Death from Above.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah. Oh, sorry. I was dealing with Mumble, but Death from Above. It does something different based on all your specs, or so it seems.
Mm-hmm.
No, it looks almost identical for every spec.
Well, combat and subtlety is
Yeah.
exact. It's assassination that's a little bit different.
Okay, so for combat, finishing move consumes combo points of the target, and it performs a devastating 2-part attack. You whirl around, dealing up to, based on attack power, damage to all enemies within 8 yards. Then you leap into the air and eviscerate your target on the way back down with such a force that it deals an additional 50%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it seems good, but once again, this seems like a AoE ability to me. So one is very clear-cut single target damage, and that's Shadow Reflection. And Death from Above, it's like between this and Venom Zest, it's gonna be kind of it's gonna come down to the logistics, the DPS, and like what are they theory crafting?
Yeah,
It's
theory
gonna come down to
crafting,
the numbers.
min-max,
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
I'm sure they're gonna be really close. This is an ability, it costs 50 energy, where once again Venom Zest is passive, so it's gonna come down to that, I guess.
All right. I don't really play a rogue often, so I don't know what I would choose. But
I'm gonna say Shadow Reflection myself, just as it stands, because most fights history has come to show us are single target ones. There are some that have ads that run in every once in a while, but is that enough? Like, I don't know.
yeah, because the Venom Zest one seems like, I mean,
That's
more
the one
energy.
that I would take personally. Yeah, that's the one I would take personally. And you're getting 15 energy regardless, passively, 15 more energy, and you're getting 5% increased energy regeneration even on one target. So it's not just necessarily for AoE targets. That's something that can actually fit between both. It works better, obviously, the more targets you have that are poisoned. Whereas Death from Above is 100% AoE, Shadow Reflection is 100% single target. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That covers Rogue. I guess it's my turn. I'm going to be playing a Prot Warrior in the coming expansion, which I did for most of Wrath of the Lich King, especially the end. Had a lot of success with that, and I like it a lot. But here are the 3 choices for Protection Warrior. Do you guys play Prot Warrior at all?
No.
Cody?
My shaman, remember?
That's
I can't play any other class. No, we're not even gonna attempt to go there. I suck at all the other ones.
Alright, so I'll make this quick and get opinions from you guys. We got Ravager. Throw a whirling axe at the target location that does attack power based damage to enemies within 8 yards every 1 second, lasts 10 seconds, and increases your chance to parry for 30%. Wow, that's nice, actually. For 10 seconds. I've used this on beta, and it's a lot of fun. Neither of you were in the group with me when I used it. Damn it, so you wouldn't have seen. Throws a nice whirling axe. It's got like this swirling red animation around the tip of it. It's really awesome. And it makes picking up ads just a joke. Because, oh no, look, we pulled a group of ads coming in. I'm just going to put my Ravager between me and them, and I'll instantly have a ton of aggro by the time they get to me.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they get rid of the throw ability for warriors?
Which shattering throw? They have heroic throw.
No, like he throws like an axe to pull mobs.
I think they got rid of it. I know heroic throw, improved heroic throw, one of the passives you get as you level from 90 to 100, 91 to 100, makes it have no cooldown, so you don't need it anymore. Really.
Let's say, because I thought they got rid of like the ability to throw, which would make sense for them getting rid of that when they added this, because it sounds like the exact same thing, only it adds a little bit more damage to it.
Yeah. No, it's nice. It's if you take Blade Storm, which is like a tier or two earlier, you got double Blade Storm basically. One's an axe and one's you.
Okay.
It's really cool. But then we got Anger Management, which every 30 rage you spend reduces the remaining cooldown of several of your abilities by 1 second. And there's the list. This is, I believe, a list based on all specs, or... No, I lied. These are all... No, see, Recklessness and Die by the Sword. It changes based on that spec. But all those things. Demoralizing Shout, Heroic Leap, Mocking Banner, the talents you took, which Avatar, Blade Storm, all those fun things. Shockwave's a good one. This is just built-in cooldown reduction based on you spending your rage. And...
Right.
It's nice. I haven't used it yet, but I imagine it would be good, especially for Shield Wall.
Yeah, I can see it working out really well for raids.
Yeah.
It could, just depending on what the encounter is going to be, spending that 30 rage, to get, your shield wall up in time for, some ability that's going to do massive damage, and then, having to use this to get it back up as soon as possible for the next one.
Right, and shield, I just thought of this, shield barrier and shield block. Shield block costs 60 rage, so that's 2 seconds off all your other cooldowns. Shield barrier can use up to 60 rage, which is 2 seconds off your cooldowns. So you're rewarded for playing more defensively right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice.
Definitely a tank talent.
Moving on, this is the big one a lot of people are talking about. Gladiator's Resolve. First off, passive increases the damage reduction provided by defensive stance by 5%. Right there is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it allows you to forego your defensive role if you choose, and it replaces battle stance with gladiator stance. Excuse me. What this does is increases all physical damage dealt by 20% and replaces your shield block with shield charge. You cannot change into or out of this stance during combat. This, a lot of warriors I've read about and talked to are happy about this, because on a fight that only needs one tank, and you have 2, maybe 3 tanks in the raid, for 25 mans or something, this allows the tanks that would normally be doing nothing to stay in tank spec and, tank gear and do respectable damage. And it's also something interesting, like, people are happy. It's like, oh, look, sword and board damage style. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, it's pretty much Blizzard saying, we understand, the 2 tank, since LFR came out, the 2 tank rotation, for every encounter, now we can at least put into, future raids, bosses that only require 1 tank. And now that second tank that's not going to tank that fight can switch over to gladiator stance and do a respectable amount of DPS during the encounter.
Yeah, I love this. Everything about this talent. I haven't gotten the chance to use it yet because I've mostly tanked during beta, but I like it. I know you guys don't really play warriors, so there's not much more we could say other than it looks awesome, and I hope it stays as awesome as it looks. Anyway, yeah, moving on, we got a lot of news, and here we go. Looking through Warcraft stuff, only a couple... okay, so... couple quick points of news that we really don't have to discuss. Troll Art Craft update coming in the next week or 2, so we might finally see updated troll models. Orcs might have an upright pose soon, TM.
And this is probably the worst news of all right here.
I mean, no more hunched over orcs?
No, the next piece.
Oh, no, oh yeah, this one got me. No Blood Elf updated models for
Yay!
Warlords of Draenor launch.
Who cares? They're blood elves.
What? See, if they had to pick one, I'm actually glad that it's that, because it goes to show you right there that we have night elves, which could have been a copy paste model, and then they just changed the skin color and hair features and stuff like that. But that's not what they're doing. is they're not
Exactly.
copy pasting that model. They are spending the time to really hammer out the new texture and the new animations for this without rehashing it. So I'm happy with that. Out of all the classes, I'd rather see the other ones. That's what I'd like to see last. So
That's nice. You just silver lininged it for me right there.
Yeah,
yeah,
it makes sense.
That's good. I'm upset, it's like, if you're going to put all updated character models in, try to get them all done. But, Blizzard, they don't like to release anything half-assed. They wait till it's done.
Yeah.
and I respect that.
I do as well. So, I'm sure it'll
Does
blow
that
us
mean
all
we're
away.
not gonna?
Hmm.
Does that mean we're not gonna see any blood? Because what the lore for the there's no blood elves in Draenor during this time period, right?
No, I don't even think the
Not that I'm
elves
aware of.
call themselves Blood Elves yet.
Yeah,
They
because
would still be high
the
elves.
Sunwell
Yeah.
wasn't ripped apart and all that, so
Yeah, they have no
there's
reason.
there's no blood elves. There's not going to be any out in Outland, so
Right.
there's no need like the Draenei. There's already the new models in for the NPCs, so of course that's got to be in the game.
Yeah.
So
We touched on this a little earlier, but Grimrail Depot. We've all experienced it, some of us a few times. So what do you think? Is it too easy or too hard?
Just right.
Wow, you have a lot of train stuff. I think it's just right. I remember the first time we did it, we had a nightmare on the first boss because we didn't know what the hell to do.
Mm-hmm.
And once we figured out that we got to get the one big guy to charge into the little guy and knock him off the boxes, it went so much easier.
Now, with the second boss, it's kind of weird because in the second boss, the walls of the train, open up and, all that mechanic, run. The wind's going to blow you back, and the whole boss encounter is, kill the ads to get mortar shells to shoot at the big guy to knock him off his turret so he can start wailing on him to kill him.
Right.
Now, while he's in the turret, me being the healer, standing right next to the pillar that's right next to him, I find it that I'm not getting hit as much as I should be. So I'm wondering if that's just going to become the mechanic for that fight of the entire team standing by that pillar. So you LOS yourself from that turret fire.
That's possible. But also the ads can throw grenades that knock you around. as
Yeah,
well.
well, you can just run back there then.
Stand the healer there because the healer gets I believe if you get hit with the turret barrage, it interrupts your spellcasting, right?
Yeah, you get nature locked. So I mean, just standing behind there kind of negates that. You may only get hit once or twice. So I mean, it kind of helps.
All right, and now finally the last boss. That soft and rage it's got was an experience. You're fighting a boss. You can throw little frost traps that freeze you in place for 6 seconds. A spear that knocks you on your ass, and it has one of those two-headed, dragon
Dragons.
skywing reaver things, breathing lines of electric breath on the train car with you. And as the fight progresses and the boss gets lower on health, it breathes more electric, leaving a tiny little square to stand in when it's down below like 10% or something like that.
Yeah, I can see that being an issue, kind of like the fight in Throne of Thunder, where you have to follow the maze with people that have like lower end graphics cards. They may need to lower their graphic settings to be able to see that small little block of clear space. But other than that,
Right.
the fight seemed really, really well done. The only issue I have is, playing a panda in those frost traps. They're kind of hard to see when they get launched at you. So because pandas are fat, they're not very slim kind of thing, and the trap's just small enough that it hides underneath their big fat feet. So they kind of go off, and you're just like, crap.
Yeah, the boss has a cast
So-
timer that says freezing trap, and it arms and triggers in less than 2 seconds. So if you don't see
Right.
it, you're done. You're
I mean,
frozen.
it's not like you can't oh god, I'm frozen. I'm gonna die. You can pretty much withstand the a little bit of the electricity that comes
Yeah.
out. But I mean,
So
the thing
I have a question here.
Okay,
I have an answer.
I may.
Let's just say hypothetically this train is about a mile long, right? This train is chugging along. You get to the back, and lightning bolt strikes the back of the train. How long is the lightning gonna take to reach and kill the driver provided that he's a good conductor.
Not quick enough.
Wow. Okay. I was ready to actually answer that seriously.
That's too much math to do, and I hate math, so...
Oh, boy. That was just... Wow.
I believe we have a caller.
Soon. That's for the next topic. We're just going to cover this real quick.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. We also have Auchindoun, however you pronounce it, which, if you remember from Burning Crusade, was where Sethic Halls,
Shattered Halls.
No, Sethic Halls, Shadow Labyrinth, Manitoons, and the other one, I forget what it was called, but that's where those 4 instances were. This instance is it in its prime and glory, you know, the resting place of the Draenei or something like that. It's really pretty.
Me and Zister ran this one today.
I ran it the other day. It was
fun.
Well, when we ran it was hard.
The third boss is probably my favorite in there because it wasn't a face roll encounter. You actually had to take the time out and split the DPS up and put them on the ranged on the red imps, the melee on the purple, green, whatever you want to call them, imps.
Those ones can pretty much hurt you really bad.
Yeah, we had the tank and the leftover melee on the fell guards, and then meanwhile we're cleaving the boss the whole time down, and boss keeps flying up in the air and going immune, and it was a clusterfuck. But you know what? It was fun.
Yeah.
That's probably the most fun encounter that I've done in the dungeons thus far.
When I did it the other day, we couldn't get past that boss. We even had trouble with the second boss, with her ads, because the amount of stunning they do if you're not prepared for it or if you don't kill them quick enough. But that third boss was awesome because it's all the trash you just dealt with up to that boss is what he summons. And you have imps that cast a massively powerful spell on like a 15-second cast, and other imps that just run around on fire, like, you know.
And they'll disorient you if you get hit by it.
Yeah, if they touch you, they apply Dragon's Breath to you, basically. You're disoriented, running around, and you're on fire.
Yeah.
So, it's a good fight.
My only disappointment with that whole encounter was, you get a really cool third boss fight, and then you get this really cheesy final fight with a guy you're not even
How was
kill.
that? I read the fight, and it's like, oh great, you have to fight a warlock that goes through all 3 specs of warlock.
He doesn't.
He didn't.
He picks one.
Didn't.
Oh, he picks one.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. There's 3 mini bosses, and as Shafnet described what we were doing, it's kind of like what Sunken Temple used to be like, where you had the mini bosses or whatever before going into the fight. So you have 3, and they show you all the abilities, what it does, and whatever. And they're actually kind of a pushover. We did most of them 4-manned, and one I think we did without a tank. But
Yeah.
So we defeated those, and then we were joking because the last one that we fought was super easy. So Total's like, "Oh, give us that one," and sure enough, that's the one that the boss turned into. And
He just interrupted everything that he did.
Yeah, we had 3 interrupts, 4 in some cases, spread amongst us, and
He pretty much
as
didn't
long
do
as you
anything.
interrupt the chaos bolts and stuff like that, that's the one you have to worry about the most. The shadow bolts, whatever, not so much. The chaos bolts, because those are the ones that AoE to the thing, and he does rain of fire. I think you can interrupt that too. I'm not sure. Immolate, I think, was the one that you could not interrupt. But as the fight went on, it was just super easy. So what I'm thinking is, I think for the heroic encounter, he's going to cycle through all 3. That's what I think.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would
'Cause
make
that's
sense.
the feeling I got reading the dungeon journal, that he was going to cycle through the 3 different ones, but I misread it or something. But that's whatever. It happens. It happens. It'd be really cool. I have a question I'm supposed to ask written in here. What happened to the warlock's name is Terran Gore.
So Terran Gorefiend.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
What do you think? Where do you think we're going to see him next?
I'm gonna agree with Mike Schaffnet on this one, and say he's a raid boss.
But in the next, like, the coming tier or something like that, right? Yeah.
No, I don't think. Well,
We know he's going to end up as Terran Gorefiend, which we fight in
Yes.
Black Temple, so some shit's got to go down.
Right. Well,
something has to happen. I almost want to say that he'll be in this tier of content just so they can get him out of the way.
Obviously we'll see, but that's pretty cool. Like, oh, by the way, this guy becomes that Death Knight you fight in Black Temple. Who,
Yeah, because we know. Obviously, we know he survived. Well, he made Okay, that's kind of interesting too.
Yeah, right.
Tinfoil hat this one.
Yeah.
You know, on Akmodun run, you know, he jumped away and he got away. You know, we'll see him in a raid. Could it be this tier of content we see him and we kill him? What is that going to do to the other timeline?
Well, nothing. This is a separate timeline. So you kill him in here. You know, it's not going to alter, you know, what you're familiar with in the current timeline.
Right.
So
If you were to kill him dead, and it's not gonna mess up our timeline.
Right, exactly. So yeah.
So why not let us kill him? And well, okay.
Who knows what'll happen to him? Because I mean, he turned into the first Death Knight after, you know, Azeroth was invaded. You know, Burning Legion had stuff to do with this, and this whole huge list of things had to have happened, you know, in series for Terran Gore to become Terran Gorefiend. Well, none of those things are happening, or half of them are not happening. So who knows what's going to become of this guy?
Yeah. So I mean, if we prevent the Burning Legion from going through the Dark Portal this time, or the Iron Horde as it is now, does he become the first Death Knight?
Right. Well, anyway, I got to move on because we still have a lot of stuff to cover. Azeroth choppers. The Alliance
I
chopper.
believe we have a caller for this question, don't we?
We will have a caller, but I'm supposed to mention that it's making its way into Warlords. We already mentioned that if you log in between us now and September 29th or September 30th, I think,
September 30th.
you're going to get the Horde chopper for free. And the Alliance chopper will be in Warlords, and it's going to cost a hefty sum of gold.
Okay.
But we do have a caller for comments on this question, so let's get him in here.
Hooray! The Alliance took him.
Let's keep my fingers crossed that this works, because this is our first week having callers back in like well over a month. So caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and what do you got for us?
Hey, this is Jiginator from the chat, and it's getting early here in Denmark, so I'll get right to it.
Okay.
As you mentioned, the Alliance chopper has been announced, and they mentioned that it will cost a shit ton of money. I'm just wondering, what do you estimate it's gonna cost?
Okay,
Okay, before we get to what we've read and heard about, not knowing any information, I would guess 100,000 gold.
I would say
Flat.
that too, because isn't the mammoth from Mist like 60,000 or like 20 or 60,000 or something like that?
The Grand Traveler?
Yeah, how
I
much
think
was
it
that
somewhere
one?
around
That's not a mammoth, that is a yak.
Yeah, the yak.
Yeah,
How much
that
is
too.
the
mammoth
yak?
The thing that he said on Twitter was, think mammoth, and the only mammoth in game is the Sons of Hodir and the Travelers yak from
The Grand
Dalaran,
Traveler Tundra, yeah.
Huh.
and they are not nearly expensive as the yak from
The
Mists of
Grand
Pandaria.
Traveler was what, 20,000, somewhere around there?
Was it 20 or was it
Sounds like
50?
20. So
I
if,
think it was 20.
Yeah.
So if it's 20,000, I could say probably 50.
No, I think that's way too high for that. I'm gonna say somewhere around. I'm gonna say 25,000.
25,000. Like I said, I would have said 100K, but
I'm saying
Are you
50.
willing
not
to
gonna
pay
wanna
that
make
for
this
amount?
so-
I mean,
yeah, me neither. But
What was that, Jake?
are you willing to even pay 100,000 gold just to
I
get
wouldn't.
one mount that don't even have a transmog vendor or something to sell?
No, I wouldn't.
And-
I wouldn't personally. No.
Yeah.
Like it's a glorified snowmobile. That's all this thing is.
All it is a lot of people complained, all the Alliance players complained too much to Blizzard, and Blizzard said, fine, we'll put it in, but you have to pay for it.
okay.
I don't think that. I think the intention was that they were going to do this all along. I don't think this is a surprise. I don't think this had to do with anybody bitching or complaining. I think this was intended to both be in the game no matter what.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like I also mentioned many weeks ago when I called in about Azeroth choppers are there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this has to be always had to have been the plan. I can't see it happening any other way or anything. But you know, I'm setting 100,000 gold, but I'm probably wrong.
I still say 50.
Yeah, if
think
it's
that's
above
way too high.
if it's above 50, who's gonna
I
buy
think
it?
that's way too high because, as he pointed out, over 50, like, because that's what the price of the yak was for the transmog yak or whatever it was. But I'm looking more toward if it's going to be the cost of the Mammoth. The Mammoth had a vendor on it. You could sell all your junk at.
One
And that
of the
was
mammoth had. There was only
yeah,
one mammoth that
right.
allowed you to have a vendor on it, but then there was the Sons of Hoodia mammoths that also
They were
don't
like
have a vendor
5,000
on
somewhere
this.
around there.
Yeah, it was like
I
5 or
believe one
10,000 gold.
costed. Personally,
Yeah,
I would
so
be willing to pay somewhere between 10,000 to 20,000 for the mount because it is a glorified vehicle to use after all.
exactly. That's my thing with it too. And I like I'm looking at terms of upscaling because you get higher level, you start earning more gold, and gold becomes easier to get and stuff like that. So if we're gonna compare it, I'm gonna say it's about 25,000 gold. That's my guess.
All right, that's good. Jake, I hear you have a
I
follow-up
also,
question for us.
yeah, since the thing they're doing with the Azeroth the chopper something is if you log in between now and September something on your horde characters, your account gets flagged and then they just receive it when warlords hit. But to get the Alliance chopper, you must first find the vendor at a later patch. I was just wondering, what about the horde people that doesn't log in between now and September? Do they have the chance to get the mount in the game as well? I was thinking that maybe the same vendor that sells the Alliance version will also sell the Horde version for those that haven't logged in. What's your opinion on that thought?
Um, my opinion is I would be very
No.
upset. Like, they should do that. Log in between now and end of September, get it for free. But if you don't, you could still pay a ton of gold for it.
Yeah, I think they gave players plenty of time and notice to log in to get their free mount. If you can't log in and get your free mount, then you just got to pay for it.
Yeah, because did they mention they don't like the idea of taking mounts out permanently anymore?
Yep.
Such as the Plagued Proto-Drake, Black Proto-Drake, the Black
And even then,
Karaji Battle
even
Tank.
then, yeah, even then, they've thrown a few of those mounts back up in the black market auction house.
Very
They
true.
had what, the Ironbound?
Mhm.
Was it the Ironbound? Because that's still in the game. You could still get the Old War one, but it was the Plagued, I believe.
It was the Naxxramas ones.
Yeah,
both.
one of those ended up on the black market auction house.
Right.
I believe it was the 10-man version, but not the 25-man version.
Yeah, so the Plagued
Yeah,
wound
that
up
seems
on there.
right.
Yeah, that does seem right.
I was still surprised that the ZG mounts never got thrown up on there either.
As you say that, chat says the original ZG mounts are back on the black market auction house on beta.
Perfect. There we go.
So that's great because I always wanted that Tiger mount, and I ran that every reset.
Mhm.
And
Just before
I'm
those got
still
taken
running
out.
it to get the new mounts.
Yeah, I haven't actually been running for the new mounts. I should be. But just
Yes,
before ZG was removed, I think it was like 2 weeks before it was gone, I got both the Tiger and the Raptor on the same character
I don't
in one
like
run.
I hate you. You
Oh,
and your
bastard. You know that's just...
yeah, I know, right? He is.
I'm done talking to you. And
That's
We're done.
the going vote here. All three of us. Dom, you're a bastard.
If you don't believe me, you could even go look it up on my armory.
I don't want to.
I do believe
And
you.
why
Same
would we
day.
do that? Why would we do that?
You've told me about this before, so I do believe you. It's gonna sit
And then
here
I got the
and-
Ravens Lord and the Headless Horseman mount on the same day.
I'm just gonna sit here and play with
I got
stuff.
think that was
several
the day
Headless
after.
Horseman
I'm
mounts.
just gonna.
I don't have the Horseman mount yet.
I got like 4 on the same day when I ranked before the account bound.
Hmm.
I'm like the only person without it. I hate it.
It's a pretty nice mount, you know?
I know it's pretty
They are.
nice.
I need to get back into mount collecting. I haven't collected a whole bunch
So
this
do I.
expansion. I haven't played a whole lot this expansion, so
Yeah, I
I
rated.
recently got the GBN for 200 mounts, so I'm happy.
nice.
That's
Congrats.
congrats on that. That's good. Anyway, Jake, thanks for calling in. Feel free to call in every week if you want, and I know it's really early there, but thanks again.
I think he got disconnected.
Oh, he did. Crap.
Yes. So
Jake, if you're still watching, thanks for calling in. All right, moving right along here, gentlemen. We got some patch notes, but I'm just gonna skim through the WoW stuff. We spent way too long, almost an hour now on WoW. So, Tremor Totem is no longer usable while under the effects of fear, charm, or sleep.
Stupid.
Used to be, oh no, I'm running around feared, drop Tremor Totem. I'm not feared anymore, but it still pulses every second to remove fear, charm, or sleep effects,
Stupid.
which is still good, but not as
So you
good.
drop it beforehand. So
You gotta
it's less of a
anticipate.
PvP thing,
Okay.
more of a PvE thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say start thinking about PvP side of this though.
Yeah.
It's gonna suck.
Priest runs in, you drop Charmer Totem. It's that simple.
True. All right. And then we have, they say they're going to be quest markers on the map. When you have,
That's kind of cool.
yeah, coming in beta zones, if you are eligible for a quest chain but you didn't start it yet, there's going to be a marker on your map saying, "Go here. There's a quest chain you can start."
Yeah.
So
Okay, my cat just knocked out one of my monitors. I can't see anything.
that's brilliant. While you're fixing that, we're going to move on to Hearthstone, and I will make sure that we don't ask any serious questions about it until you fix your monitor. As we mentioned, the Plague Quarter was being released, and it was. This includes 3 new bosses, Noth the Plague Bringer, Hygen the Unclean, and Lotheb, each of which brings their own lovely challenges, as well as heroic modes, and there have been 6 new cards released to us. Can't really think of anything better than that.
Sorry.
Do you want to... Yeah. As soon as I know Dom can hear us, which he can now. Can he?
Maybe.
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, damn it, Jasper. Anyway, do you want to do questions or cards first?
Start with the cards.
Alright, start with the cards. We have 6 of them, as I mentioned. 4 of them are universal, and 2 of them are class specific. So we'll start with the universal cards first. Showing up down in our bottom corner, we have the Sludge Belcher. 5 mana. It is a taunt card with a death rattle of summon a 1/2 slime with taunt. Oh, also, it's 3/5. What do you guys think? It's an alright
Nice
card.
Taunt. I don't know about the 5 mana though.
It's a well,
It's 3/5. It's got taunt. It's with the death rattle that it's coming in with another minion following it. So
another minion with
if
taunt.
they don't silence this, yeah, another minion with taunt. So if they don't happen to silence this for the 5 mana, it's costing. You're gonna kill it, and then it's gonna also block the next attack as well. So
Yeah,
Mm.
value for 5 mana right there.
that's if they don't silence it.
Yes, it's silence bait.
Most of the time, it's still not gonna get silenced, but it's.
Yeah.
I think the card's a little worthless personally because I've seen it. I've been going up. I've been playing a hunter right now in the current meta, and on the ladder and whatnot. And I see this card a lot, but as a hunter, I have a lot of ways to deal with it. And my I don't know the name of the hunter card. The one that what is it? I do. It's 3 mana. I know that much. Kill command. If you have a beast, deal 5 damage. So I could take that out and then use one of my crappy little minions to take out the next one, and then keep attacking like nothing happened. So
Right.
Yeah.
then it could get hexed. It could get polymorphed. And that'll negate the taunt. Or the shaman can earth shock it. A lot of people are running the Nerubian eggs right now, and they're using them in the zoo decks for the warlock, the small creatures, the 1/1s, the 2/1s, and whatever.
Zoox.
Yeah, so you're seeing a lot of people try to counter that now by running silence minions to deal with the eggs. So most of the time, that's going to end up having a silence for it or something. So I don't think it's really that worth it.
Right. Alright, well, moving right along. Not that worth it. The Stoneskin Gargoyle, which is a 3 mana, 1/4. At the start of this turn, at the start of your turn, restore this minion to full health. I like it.
Yeah.
No, for its cost, it's really good too. It finishes off a lot of the 1/1s on the boards. Like it's really good for that. But the thing is, it at the start of the turn, return this minion to full health. You buff the health on this minion, it will heal to full no matter what. So you get a priest, you buff
Priest
it. You
deck,
get
yep.
a paladin, you buff it. I mean, druids can buff it as well, Mark of the Wild and whatnot. But so I guess those three mainly.
And then you got to force them
Yeah.
to use their removal, their polymorph or their hex or whatever, on a 3-mana card.
Right.
Which
you
I'm
can
sure they
also
don't want to
right. You can also put your what are they? I forget what they're called. Defender of Argus.
Oh yeah, make it
that'll probably
taunt.
give your
Yeah.
minions, make it a taunt. It's a 2/5. You put that on there. You can keep buffing it. Depending on what other cards you have with it. Rogues can buff the attack on it by putting what is it, Cold Blood on it.
Right. Ooh.
So there's a lot you could do with it. Yeah, there's
That's
a lot you could do
nice.
with it, and it heals to the full every time, and it does count as a heal. So also note that for priests that are running, what are those 1/3s called? I don't know the names of them offhand.
Oh, the switch heals and the damage.
No.
The Northshire Cleric.
Yes.
Oh yeah, her.
Whenever a minion is healed to draw a card,
Yeah.
it does count as a heal. So it will, in fact, work for that as well.
Yep. Anyway, getting rid of Stone Skin. No, I'm sorry. We did Stone Skin Gargoyle. Getting rid of the Belcher and moving right along. Stone Skin Gargoyle's a win. And Lotheb. 5 mana, 5/5, Battlecry. Enemy spells cost 5 more mana this next turn.
Let's say we talked about this one a couple weeks ago. This card's awesome.
Yeah, we did talk about this already, but it's released now. Congratulations. Card's awesome.
It is. Probably the best thing you could do with this card is if you're playing... I built a deck around Lotheb, a Shaman deck, where I did include Bloodlust, which is something you typically don't see anymore because there's a lot of removal in the game. A lot of people are worried about stuff like that. So a lot of Shamans don't actually run Bloodlust anymore. With an ability like this, especially a Mage, if they just finished turn 6... and on turn 7 they have the potential to play a Flame Strike, you can drop Lotheb, and guess what? You cannot cast Flame Strike this turn, so all your minions on the board are going to last until next turn. Now that you have a full board, you can Bloodlust, hit them to the face, they're done. So I built a deck around it. It's working really well. I do see Lotheb come up a lot in the meta right now. It's a great card. Definitely recommend it.
Yeah. Alright, so, as we said a couple weeks ago, Lotheb, winning card. Bye-bye Gargoyle. And here comes Unstable Ghoul. 4 mana, Taunt. It's a 1/3 with Taunt. Death Rattle, deal 1 damage to all
2 mana,
minions.
not 4.
Why did I think it was 4? What the hell is wrong with me tonight? I'm getting tired.
So you're colorblind.
Yes, I'm colorblind. That makes it impossible for me to read numbers. 2 mana, 1/3, Taunt, Death Rattle, deal 1 damage to all minions. Thoughts?
Funny enough, this has actually hurt the enemy more than it's hurt me. Because it seems like a lot of people, unknowingly, are running this in a zoo deck. And then all their minions have, no health.
Little forethought right there, but...
Yeah, so the best is, even as a shaman, and then I'll run, an AoE, where typically, what is it, my, Lightning Storm does 2 to 3 damage without any buffs on it. So I can do 2-3 damage. If it kills it, then guess what? Now every minion on the board is taking an additional 1 damage, so it's pretty much going to finish almost anything off. So I don't know why people are trying to run this in a zoo deck. I don't.
Yeah,
I really
It
don't.
doesn't make any sense to do that.
there's probably strategies, that'll work around this card, or work with this card, but that's not one of them.
Yeah.
No. It's a good counter to a zoo deck. If you're
Yeah, but
playing
not
a
to
zoo
put
deck,
into one.
no. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't play Hearthstone a lot, but... Yeah. No, I wouldn't
And for
do
those
that.
people who are wondering, I'm using the terminology zoo. If you're not familiar with Hearthstone, you don't know what that is. Zoo is just it's a warlock primarily. I don't think I've ever seen another class play zoo. I don't think they can. It's a low cost thing, and you just toss out as many low cost cards as you can. And the druid, I mean the warlock's hero power is for 2 mana. I mean for 2 life and 2 mana, you get a card. So every turn you're gonna have 1 to 2 cards to play out to just keep flooding the board and trying to overwhelm your opponent.
It works.
Unstable Ghoul is a good deter to
annoying.
That's what he's for. Like, he's good to help you stop the zoo deck. He's not good in a zoo deck. Stop putting him in there. Actually, keep putting him in there, because I want to get further down the rank. I just started this season. We're day 3, and I'm, like, rank 12 right now. So just keep putting him in there. Do it.
All right, moving right along. Bye, Lotheb. We love you. Now to the class-specific cards, of which there are 2. We have Mage card up first, Duplicate, for 3 mana, and it is a secret. When a friendly minion dies, put 2 copies of it in your hand. That could be really good.
Depending on what which card does, especially if it's a taunt.
Especially if it's a taunt, Archmage Antonadias.
Alright, I'm going to tell you best case scenario to use this on.
Okay, go for it.
I ran into a deck that I got destroyed. And when I say destroyed, I mean I'd never stood a chance.
Okay.
Which does not happen often. Usually it's a close battle. This was not even close. I got the guy down to, I think it was like 10, 12 health, something like that. So you would think that right there, oh, that's close. But when you see what he actually did, it wasn't. He used one of the giants now, and I forget the name of it.
There's Molten Sea and
The Molten Giant.
Stone.
The Molten Giant. As you could read right here, it says cost less. 1 less for each damage your hero has taken.
Oh,
right?
no.
So I got him down to like 10 health, right? So now it costs 0 mana. So he threw Molten Giant down, and then threw the dude, the sun, whatever, the guy that gives him, buffs him +1/+1 and puts taunt on him. And then threw Duplicate down. And then I'm like, well, no. Oh, what he did. Okay, so he threw the Molten Giant down, killed the minion in between that he placed. He fireballed his own minion. Okay?
Okay.
And then threw Duplicate up. So I had no choice but to kill the Molten Giant to get through it. He had no other minions on the board. He has 2 9/9 Molten Giants with Duplicate. Right?
Wow. I'd have conceded.
Killed it.
You just got wrecked.
And next, I killed both of them. I did. I killed both of them in that turn. I had enough on the thing. Next turn, giant, put the taunt between, Frostbolt pinged it, threw up Duplicate again.
All right.
I was like, are you kidding me?
You got wrecked. Yeah,
you...
I couldn't do anything, and then it's just like I end up killing one of them, and then next turn, oh look, giant. It's like, what? It was
You were in Molten Core, March of the Mountain.
for
Molten
0
Giants.
mana at that point. For 0 mana, he's throwing these giants out.
Giant.
It was ingenious. It really was.
It's
You
one of
got
those
wrecked.
RNG works for you and genius strategy pays off. But that's nice. I would have been like,
For him.
this is the second time 2 giants came out. I'd have been like, concede.
Concede.
Congratulations. All right, last
Yeah.
card, Hunter specific, and it is the Web Spinner. For 1 mana, you get a 1/1 spider. Death Rattle. Add a random beast card to your hand. Now, is this random beast card in your deck or random beast card period?
Random beast card, period.
Oh, I love that.
Does not have to be from your deck. I've gotten an additional web spinner. I've had it killed, and another one pops into my hand. Okay, so that's
Worthless.
on the low end of cards that have come off.
That's
That's
probably-
the best case scenario, right? I've had Angry Chicken show up,
Yeah.
which didn't help me because I had nothing to buff it with. Yeah, that one was pretty bad. I've had Maexna show up
That's pretty good.
off this card.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. So King Crush could show up. Basically anyone. any single beast in the deck, except for any cards that summon a beast that you cannot earn yourself, like Leok, Misha, and whatever the name of that boar is with charge, the 4/2 boar that you
Right.
can get from using the spell that gives you a random beast minion.
Yes.
Those cards are not in this pool, but any card that you can earn on your own that is a beast card can show up at random.
All right. So those are our cards for this week. I'm gonna move along because we spent too much time on Warcraft, but there was a lot of stuff. So what are you gonna do about it?
Well,
So just a couple quick news things. Coming soon is the next quarter. What's next? Is it Construct quarter? Like
that's
Look it up.
Yeah, I should look it up. Is it
I'm going. I'm going.
He's doing it.
See, here I go.
Here he goes.
Here we go.
It's either Construct or Military.
Military
Military.
quarter opens. And
Vesuvius
just
and the Four
Just a
Horsemen.
quick, we get Dancing Swords, Spectral Knight,
Finally.
Deathlord, and Baron Rivendare. We will be going into these cards in depth next week. So those are the rewards. And I just want to state
Yes, plug this.
Heroic
too.
Lotheb.
Oh, I thought you were
Heroic
doing something
Lotheb.
else.
Yeah, Heroic Lotheb was probably the biggest pain in the ass. You really had to make a special deck revolving this thing. You want minions with charge. You want minions that create minions. Yeah, it's
So
just
like a murky deck.
crazy deck.
So, okay.
My Murloc deck failed miserably on this.
Oh. Never mind.
Yeah, so it was rough. It was rough. It took me about 9 tries to get the deck right, and Mixna had only taken me 3 to 4, I think it was. So yeah, the other two, I believe, what was it, Noth and Hygen. I actually had Noth. I think it took me 2 or 3 tries. Hygen, I one shot, but Lotheb, that was brutal.
Not bad.
Brutal.
All right.
Yes.
You have
also
a tournament?
Like to plug real quick. Huh?
There's a tournament or something, I hear?
Yes, brand new website has opened up. I definitely recommend you guys to check it out. It's massenchant.com. And they had their beta test this past Friday, which we entered. The winning player received a $20 battle.net gift certificate, I believe it was. Or funds, or however that was sent out. It is done Swiss tournament style, where you get paired up against a random opponent.
Okay.
And like you go, we had 7 rounds in this particular bracket. And you get paired up, like I said, completely randomly. And then your score is averaged at the end of each round based off the other opponents you had's win-loss record for the tiebreak score. So, for example, the person who finished first was a druid. He had 6 wins, 1 loss. There was another druid, 6 wins, 1 loss that was under him. But the tiebreak score was what determined, and it was the quality of his opponents, whether, what their final scores ended up reflect your tiebreak score. It's really intricate kind of like system stuff in the background that they have that checks that all out. This tournament's open to anybody, so if you go on massenchant.com right now, you can sign up for this Friday night.
Cool.
Go on there, get the chance to win $20, get some Miracle Rogues in there, do whatever you got to do to get first place, and walk out $20 more. That's what? How many card packs can you buy with $20? I don't even know anymore. It's like 20.
Bunch. Are they $1 each, or are they $2 each?
No, there's $3 each.
15 packs for $20.
Not bad.
Yeah, so you get 15 packs for $20, or you can finish off buying your Naxxramas Adventure. If you have not bought all the wings, I think it's like, the free wing, I think it's like $20 still. If you've bought the first 2 wings already, it's $14.99. So that'll cover the rest of your Nax lockouts right there.
That's really cool. All right.
Yeah.
So do that. Diablo 3 has not much to talk about this week. We actually have something to mention for StarCraft 2.
Wow.
Cue the bells, whistles, the fainting, all that other stuff. First time for StarCraft 2 news. if you would like to get the 4-year anniversary achievement, almost said something different, almost said achievement, you need to log in and play a match by the end of tonight. So go do it
You have
now.
to win the match?
No, it just says you need to log in and play a match even against bots. This works versus AI. So go play
This
a
is
full
tonight.
game. Tonight. It ends tonight. Yeah.
I
So,
need to start up StarCraft then.
yeah, right, me too.
Reinstall it.
Anyway, on to Heroes of the Storm.
Yay!
Our last game to talk about tonight. Breaking news. Artifacts are gone.
No!
Ooh.
No, this
Okay.
is terrible news. Terrible news.
This is
I
both-
quit Heroes.
This is both good and bad, because a lot of people rate... Dom, we can see that. Okay, you purposely want us to see that. We can't
I'm
see you
installing
anymore.
this right now.
That's great. Anyway, artifacts are gone. Now, I remember when they were announced, I was very skeptical. I was very upset because this was, kind of the gating against new players and not appealing to a casual crowd, blah, 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 blah. Playing with the artifacts, though, they made certain heroes that were just underpowered. They made them bearable while not making all of the other heroes overpowered, except Diablo. Unkillable Diablo,
Yeah.
Diablo that hits you for, half your health or more. It broke Diablo, we'll just put it that way. But they're gone. They're out. I'd like to see them come back in some form, but the system just wasn't right. It needs some tweaking. Maybe some cosmetic things, maybe, minor power buffs, but
No.
I would...
Here's what they need to do with artifacts. Bring them back, but not for what they were this time. Do away with, the power buffs, the health buffs, the mana buffs, all that stuff. One talent or one set of artifacts, not 3, and make them cosmetic.
Dom, what'd you break? Oh, there you go.
It's right there.
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, I agree. Make them cosmetic. Or...
Yeah.
I like the idea they had, because, it was customization, different ways to play different heroes or whatever. So, but the buffs were too strong. They made it so you have to choose this to have the optimal build kind of, mentality. I would have liked it if all options, or most options, were viable for every hero, but that just wasn't the case. So either nerf their power, or make them cosmetic, like you just said.
Yeah. They can pull off some really cool cosmetic stuff. I mean, it doesn't have to be extensive to, be like 100 different cosmetics things, to everybody. Just make it like 5 or 6 cosmetic items that you can get, think of Warcraft and how many of the card cosmetics that you can get from there, running and you have flames on your footprint, stuff like that, It's easy. That just, your weapons have a glow to them, something weird. Just so that you have something to spend gold on, and they're easily able to customize your characters, because that's all they really want. They want you to be able to customize your character the way you want to. Okay, Do it cosmetically. Don't do it, stat wise, and ruin the game.
I would like the option to have more mana regen on Muradin again, but that's just me.
Okay, so he needs tweaked as far as stats go, which is be fixed in alpha.
Anyway, yeah.
So.
Also, the talent gating, which still sucks. You buy a hero and you can't use all of their talents because they're locked to you until you hit level 4 with that hero, which used to take a lot of time. Now, it will take as little as 3 games if playing with friends
Which makes
to
sense.
unlock all talents, which is good. I still think it should be removed entirely. Blizzard said they want to gradually lead you in and, introduce you to the hero step by step or whatever like that. No.
Which is fine, because you still get XP for practice games, so just go run a practice game against bots versus bots, and boom.
You gotta run a
you'll be
few
fine.
practice games. But, yeah, that...
So,
it should just be taken
that's
out
fine.
entirely, but you know what? It's fine. It's better than it was. 15, 20 games to get it all unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's stupid. But
It's Stitch's week coming up.
woohoo! But wait, no, boo.
Wait,
Not
But-
with who we're gonna start talking about.
but but
I don't
it's
care.
Stitches.
I don't care.
All right, I'm sorry.
It's Stitches. He's big. He eats people and poops green slime everywhere.
Was this shown somewhere in China or Korea? Somewhere, I
It
don't know.
was ChinaCon, or I don't remember.
Something like that. I don't remember where it was. Chen Storm Stout. Some gameplay was shown from him.
Thank you.
Yeah, so he might be the next hero we get. He might not be. But anyway, Chen Storm Stout is coming right along. His abilities, his Q is a flying kick. I can't make it. It says it in my show notes. Skills, Q, flying kick. Much like it sounds.
It is.
There's nothing more to it.
It's just he's a flying kick. He just goes and kicks somebody in the face.
His W is Keg Smash. He throws a keg of beer. It'll likely do damage and slow people.
Yeah.
Breath of Fire is his E. It spits fire, just like Diablo's ult, only shorter. And if I remember my brewmasters, and they want to keep with the flavor, you apply liquid beer with Keg Smash, and then you set them on fire with Breath of Fire. Right.
That'd be definitely a nice combo. If you throw Keg Smash down, and then you follow up with Breath of Fire, and it does a little bit more damage than it normally would.
That's the flavor of a brewmaster since Warcraft 3 or earlier, if they were in there. Anyway,
it would make sense.
Ult 1, Wandering Keg. Hops onto his keg and rolls around, knocking people back as he hits them.
This is the greatest ultimate ever.
It's
Do a barrel roll.
It's not. It's okay. So
Are you playing StarCraft while
seriously? On a serious note, it's good escape too. So if you're like running into a 1v5, 1v4, whatever, you can pop your ultimate, knock everybody away, and then you can escape.
Yes.
So it's a great escape as well too, as far as damage. So
yes, I agree. And R2 Primal Split, also known as Storm, Earth, and Fire. From, if you're familiar with the Brewmaster, he was able to split into 3 independent forms of himself. Splits into 3 different pandas for combat. Now here's the question, is each going to be separately controlled like they were in Warcraft 3? Or not?
I think it would be a great mechanic if they were.
But is the game... the game's built on the StarCraft engine, so it is set up for controlling multiple things.
But at the same time...
StarCraft engine?
Does it go against their whole philosophy of easy to jump in and play?
Yeah, it's a good question. This could be a difficult ult to use, or it could be something different where the 2 other pandas just give you... I don't know.
Well, I mean, because it makes this could also be used as a great escape tool as well. Because if, let's throw out a theory here that they are all separately controllable. You pop this, you start beating on an enemy teammate with it, and you send one off to escape, to run out. And as long as that one survives, the other 2 die, you're still alive. It doesn't count as a death. You immediately shift back into that one that escaped.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can see it working where you control all 3.
When the ult ends, if I would say
if one of them survives after your ult ends,
you have 50% health. They all split. They all have 50% health. But for each one that dies, you lose a third of your total health that you had when the ult started. And if all 3 die, you die. But if one survives, you come back with a third of the health you had when you started, which in the case of 50% is like 16.6%.
So,
right.
I can see it working.
Deidris is actually saying in chat right now that he wants a more StarCraft themed map. I agree. I think they need to do something like that.
They do need more themed maps. Definitely a StarCraft themed map. I mean, so far the maps...
Everything kind of feels Warcrafty right now.
It feels Warcrafty, or you could fit Diablo-y too.
Yeah, I
they're not dark enough for Diablo, but...
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's necessarily themed after a certain game. I'd like to see more, Warcraft themed maps, StarCraft, Diablo.
I would like to see some in hell. I'd like to see one in space. Like, do those up. Those need to happen.
But you think about it, it is the Nexus. They're creating their own world for this game, their own.
Okay, so perfect. Instead of dropping down into the mines, you're in Warcraft. You teleport to hell, and then you teleport to the Terran land or something. I don't know. Terran land.
Anyway.
Whatever they're called. Terran, Zergs, Protoss. I don't know the names.
more maps is what we want. There's a couple things quickly mentioned. Guild system and guild battle mode. So basically sort of like a clan, you would say?
Well, I can see their guild system being kind of like the one that we see in Diablo 3, where it just gets people to guild up. That way, people have an easy way of finding groups to go in instead of going into the dreaded solo queue, which I'm not going to talk about because I'm very angry about it right now. And as far as the guild battle mode goes, I can see this as far as PvP goes. You know, setting up like guild matches, clan matches per se. You know, going up against other guilds and stuff like that. But
Right. Well, any kind of system they have, if it puts you in the same place with a bunch of other players looking for games and facilitates party making and party matchups, I'm all for it. And as long as it applies the friend bonus for grouping with a guildmate.
oh yeah, I wonder if they do the guild system. You know, we've already got the playing with friends bonus. I wonder if they do a playing with guildmate bonus.
I just keep it the friend bonus. Don't make it stack, because then you're forced to play with a guildmate and a friend, or a guildmate who is a friend.
Well, that would be just it. I mean, if you, it would be one or the other. If you were all in, obviously, if you're on my friends list, we're in the same guild, and we go in, we're probably gonna get the friends thing over the guild one.
Right.
But I mean, if you're not friends through Battle.net, you'll go ahead and get the guild bonus, which is gonna keep it the same amount between the two, and don't let them stack. You get one or the other.
Right.
So I mean, that would work really well.
Okay, so anyway, we're going to move along here because we spent a lot of time talking. We have Twitter questions, and we have a bunch of them this week, which compared to the last couple of weeks is shocking, and I don't think we have time for all of them, so I'm just going to pick... I have one, and this is a really great question. It's from our executive producer. I'm going to have no choice but to put this one up because it is a really good question. From Total Deletion, what do you personally want out of Warlords? Cody, we're going to start with you. What would you like out of Warlords?
I don't know.
See what I mean? It's a good question.
I would say it, but it'll never happen. Faster content.
Okay, faster content.
So it can literally keep me into the game instead of, you know, like right now, the game is pretty much dead to me, unfortunately, because there's nothing to do. But that's probably the only thing that they could do, which will never happen, so.
Alright, Dom, what do you want from Warlords?
More pets.
More pets.
And
that's easy. That's even easier.
I want to pet my mounts.
What I want from Warlords is kind of going along with what Cody said. I want incentive to keep playing the game. I want more reason to group up with my friends and raid again. I don't care what size raid. Some of the most fun I ever had was raiding Ice Crown Citadel, and you know, we started in Trial of the Crusader, and we broke up right when Firelands came out. So that block was the most fun I've ever had playing this game, and I want that back in some form.
Yeah.
So anything that can keep myself and enough people interested long enough. I want to do 2 more questions and then end it. First question is from DZ315. What do you think of Destiny the game? Hopefully you've tried it. Unfortunately, I have personally not. I think Cody has, though.
Extensively.
Well, what do you think of it?
As I look at the defeat screen from Zista, as he's like gone, but whatever.
I was just showing that the achievement popped up, so I got my
okay,
achievement.
So let's get into it. Just for total.
Just quick. Don't make it long.
Just for total.
Don't get into it, but...
Destiny is the game I have been waiting for a long, 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 long time. If you it's just think of it like as Borderlands with more MMO aspects to it. You're not only upgrading your character, you're upgrading your gear, your guns, stuff like that. You're not just solely trying to get the better gear. You're also getting the better gear, but then within that gear, you're also leveling it to hold more ammo, do more powerful shots, hold more ammo, and stuff like that. They've already talked about raids in the game, and there's going to be no matchmaking for the raids, so you better have a lot of friends, unlike me. It's going to be 6-player raids to go in and shoot things and kill things. If you really want to do the multiplayer stuff, think Halo. It's the same exact concept. Vehicles, which those people who just sit in vehicles all the time are real assholes and can go die somewhere. But if you don't want to do that, go explore. Go do whatever you want to do. It's like a whole open world out there. Get on your little Sparrow bike and go zoom around and do tricks. It's honestly, I think it's going to live up to the hype.
All right. Something I need to go get a PS4 for.
I would suggest so.
Anyway,
right there. My slice for air play game. I got it. It was that simple. I booted up a bot game against the AI. I stood there. You guys watched me. I didn't play at all. The AI beat me. I got the achievement.
and that's
done.
the 4th anniversary achievement?
That is the 4th. Play a game during StarCraft 2's 4th anniversary collaboration. You can see it right there. It is complete.
My slice
It's
for
done.
ire.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, then. And finally, the last question, which I have misplaced. Here we go.
Good job.
I got it. It is from Murphy McDurphy.
I like him.
I like him too. He asks good questions. Totally don't know who this is.
Not at all.
Basically, what are you looking forward to most about this year's potential BlizzCon experience, including Game Breaker TV festivities? Hashtag Mike Byrne is hot.
I like the hashtag. That's what I'm waiting for.
I'm looking forward to again the whole experience. Most definitely the party beforehand, where we all got trashed and went to Denny's at 2 a.m.
Zisticon.
That also known as
Zisticon
Zisticon.
again this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you missed it last year, we went to Denny's. There were like 10 of us, and when Mike Shaftnit and I think Justin showed up, Justin Kennedy.
Shaftnit ate cheesecake. That's
Not even
all
that.
that matters.
Not even that. When they showed up, the reason we called it Zisticon is because Dom was so trashed, he got up and seated them. He was the waitress.
The hostess.
He was the hostess.
I didn't go back and go into the kitchen and give them the food. I didn't do that. I did buy Mike Shaftnit cheesecake. That did happen. So.
And he did eat it.
I don't know. The thing I'm looking forward to most of BlizzCon, I kind of haven't done it ever. My last 2 BlizzCons. I'm honestly looking forward to going actually to the CM booth and talking with the entire Heroes guys, just because obviously, my background states that, I'm really into the Heroes game, stuff like that, but I really want to talk to those guys. And now that I'm in school for game design, I kind of want to go hang out at the career desk and just network as much as possible with those people.
Alrighty.
So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the Game Breaker parties and Zisticon.
Oh yeah,
It's
I
pretty much me.
hope. Okay, it's far fetched, and it's probably never going to happen. Every year at the BlizzCon pre-party, Gary, they do their Game Breaker thing. Well, unfortunately, there's no Legendary show anymore, and there's kind of the Battle Talk show now. Wouldn't it be cool if we got our own show at the Game Breaker party?
Legendary's on hiatus. They're coming back. Don't even.
I don't.
Come on! I'm trying to toot our own horn here. Come on!
No, I don't want to toot our own horn, but I would like GBN, Game Breaker Nation, to actually have some presence somewhere during the party. That would be cool, but I don't want to toot our own horn.
No.
And
neither.
say it has to be one of us. I just think somebody represented from the GBN would be awesome.
If they wanted us to do that, that's great. I'm not going to ask to do that. Plus, I don't know how I would be in front of a crowd of actual people who are in front of me.
It's fine.
I have all of you guys watching me right now, but I don't give a crap. I am in the comfort of my own home.
You're
Without
in the company
pants on.
of friends and alcohol at
I'm
the
wearing
party.
pants.
I'm not.
That's great. No, but I mean, I don't know. If they want me to talk
maybe-
for 2 minutes, I'll talk for 2 minutes. But I'm just more
Yep.
than happy to go hang out with you guys and get trashed and all that other fun stuff. And not go swimming. Because the pool was off limits.
For sure.
Not this year. I'm
That
jumping.
didn't stop somebody from jumping in at the end, though.
Well, yeah, the party was over. The fire marshals were throwing us out anyway.
What? I missed all this?
Yeah, it was at the end of the party. They were
Probably.
making
Oh, that's right.
everybody get
I
out.
had. That's right. I remember I had to leave so I could get sleep, so I could be up early enough to get up early enough to hop in line.
I didn't even know you left. I was wondering how you were so bright and chipper.
Bright and
Because
chipper.
I
He
had
was
to get up
hungover as
early
hell.
So I could get to the door, so I could run to get the good seats at the opening ceremony, like I'm gonna do this year.
You don't remember him and
Yep.
Kyle at the opening ceremony sitting there hungover like,
Oh,
oh
it's
my
hungover, too.
god.
I was being facetious with my bright and chipper comment.
Of course, and I missed that because I'm just a turd sometimes. No, we all weren't hungover except for those two because those were the only two that didn't come to Zisticon at Denny's with us. And yes, Jake says in chat, Zisticon sounds like a bad STD.
It does. Sounds creepy.
But that's our show, everybody. Yeah.
Official? I am official. So is he. So is he.
We're official? What are we official?
We're official. I don't know. You know,
I'm
so that-
officially done with this episode. That's what I'm official.
Damn straight. So on that note, below me we had Cody right there.
Yes.
Find him on-
Bye.
You find him on Twitter
Below
at
him.
Can Heals. Don't believe it, he actually can heal, and he is a very decent resto shaman.
Hey, and go to my new YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/user/the-can't-heals. It's, a bunch of heroes matches, and some guides are starting to show their way up there.
You can watch him dive into 5 people with his Vala ult blaring.
Hey! That's not my fault!
You got this guy with a variety of backgrounds. Dom, aka Zista. You can find him at Zista_ on Twitter. And you can find him other places. Where can I find you?
Everywhere.
That was a plug the other podcast cue.
I'm well aware. You can catch me as well as Mike, a few others on ASO TV podcast, which you can find on YouTube, Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter. It's all /ASO TV podcast. We do so many TV show podcasts. It's ridiculous. We're only doing 2 right now over the summer. Once the fall hits, I think we have somewhat like 17 podcasts lined up, something like that. So
God, I know.
it's insane.
Remind me not to.
You're not on all of them, Mike.
Good.
But
I know I'm not on all of
I'm,
them.
I'm on all of them.
The fact that we don't go crazy. I'm Mike, also known as Thilidrin. You can find me on Twitter at Thilidrin, and where Dom just mentioned. Right now we're on hiatus, but you could have also found me on HeroesLive.com and for the Heroes Live podcast. Hopefully that picks up again soon, but we'll see where that goes.
This is your replacement.
And also, I'd just like to throw out there real quick. You could probably expect a Guardians of the Galaxy podcast out of us soon.
Yeah,
in the
well,
next few weeks.
hopefully within the next week and a half, 2 weeks. But anyway, again, thanks for joining us. Thanks for sticking around. I know that was a long show. Have a lovely night, everybody.
Peanut butter.
And jelly. And that little cursor that just came in on the side of the screen there.